views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Voices of Women is a talk radio show that gives voice to the personal stories of women. It will inspire women and enlighten men to follow their dreams and create positive changes in their lives. Whether the audience listens to best-selling authors or a layperson like themselves, they'll realize there are others with similar experiences and feelings to their own. This show will give women tools they can use every day, which will empower them to step out of their boxes and create the changes they desire in their life. Kris inspires women to find their voices, speak up, and become leaders of their own life. Everyone has their gifts to share with the world, and it's time for women to work together to bring honor and respect to the feminine voice, which is within all people, men and women. Topics include personal growth, spirituality, creativity, leadership, and divine feminine. Now here's your host, Kris Steinnes.
Hi, welcome to Voices of Women. And today is September 11th. You know, that's a day that's embedded in our memories from 14 years ago. And I want to honor the people who have lost their lives, to give remembrance to them, and send our compassion and love to those who lost loved ones. It's actually a perfect day to be talking about what we're going to talk about today, which is compassion. I have on the air with me jon-ramer and Sommer Albertsen, and we're going to talk about the Compassion Games International. Jon-ramer is the founder and first follower of Compassion Games International, and he was moved by the events of September 11th in 2001 to focus his entrepreneurial energies on nonprofit community organizing. And in 2008, Jon was an organizational participant in the Seeds of Compassion. It was an event aligned with a visit to Seattle by the Dalai Lama. And as the executive director of the Compassion Action Network, Ramer conceived and implemented the international campaign for compassionate cities. And also with us is Sommer Joy Albertsen. She is an energy brilliance healer, NIA brown belt teacher, Compassion Games International unicorn, and an activist. Sommer exhibits high authentic joy and is a vibrant reminder of the Gandhi way, be the change you want to see in the world. And she's presented at many different conferences about wellness, medical, healing arts, and innovative social entrepreneurship gatherings. And she talks and walks the path of sacred space and unconditional love. So welcome, Jon and Sommer.
Hi, Kris. What an introduction. Thank you.
So I have to let the audience know, I know these two beautiful people, and they're just like, they've become, in short time, great friends. So I'm so excited to have you on the show and talk about what you're doing, because it's really quite an event. And before I go on, I want to just share that people can check this out on their website, is www.compassiongames.org. So today kicks off the Compassion Games. It's the, and then it ends, it's like a 10-day thing. It ends on International Peace Day on September 21st. So Jon, I want you to talk first, because you're the founder of this amazingly fun and creative event. Share with us how you came to have this idea.
Well, you know, compassion's a good thing. In fact, the whole 9/11 Day project, which we're one of the featured partners, is about not just the attacks, but the unity and compassion that was felt that day. And we in Seattle, like you said in the intro, we started the Compassionate Cities campaign. But what happened that was so amazing, because the idea of a compassionate city is beautiful, and but really, how do you measure that? How do you bring that into form? And the mayor of Louisville, which is one of the most compassionate cities in our whole model of Compassion Games and work being done with compassionate cities, challenged us and said they were the most compassionate city in the world and would be so till proven otherwise. And Jennifer Lawrence is from Louisville, and 2012 was the year of the Hunger Games, because the games, Compassion Games, are the antidote to the Hunger Games. So we said, well, wait a minute. Maybe we can use this platform to challenge each other, not in a competition in a traditional sense. We call it a co-opetition, where everyone's cooperating to compete, to do more good, and to help more people and strengthen themselves and each other and are caring for the earth in this spirited, friendly competition that happens once a year from September 11th through the 21st. So it's taken off. They play it in prisons. It's played by communities all over the world now. It's really something that I've just had the privilege to steward and watch unfold, and it's greater than really anything you can comprehend in terms of what people do and report on the map. It's just very inspiring.
Well,
amazing parts.
Yeah, and I want to get into what are the various things that people are doing. But first, I know this year's theme is compassion is our power source. So what does that mean to you?
Well, the power source for social innovation. You're not going to make a difference in the world and make business or make nonprofits or faith groups different and change without compassion. We're very, very much stuck in ways that aren't working. And if we don't change our direction, we're going to wind up where we're headed. So compassion as a power source for social innovation means if you include in these solutions that there are and that we're all putting forward, caring for others, for the earth, and for ourselves, and create win-win-win solutions, we're going to have a different kind of outcome than what we've all fallen into, which is very much, self-centered, short-term interest. And this is a chance to say we need to think differently and include each other in the kind of changes that need to happen in all of our interests. We don't need to demonize each other. We need to have compassion for each other.
Yeah. So explain a little bit. Maybe Sommer, you can and do this. What happens at the Compassion Games? Let's get an idea of what for people. What does it mean to have Compassion Games?
I can speak to that. So starting off today is the annual Compassion Games, and it's 11 days of global unity. So we have teams signed up and individuals who are agents of compassion signed up to really play the games for 11 days. And that really is allowing this, it's creating this sacred container in space where people are elevating compassion in their life, be it for themselves, for others, and the earth. And we have lots of different ways on the site that helps give resources of different ways to focus on compassion. We have the secret agent of compassion missions that are going into inboxes of agents of compassion all over the world starting today. And then there's this beautiful space on the site called the Compassion Report Map. And that is where the reflection and the connection of collective compassion is happening for the next 11 days. And the great thing about it is it's also a space where everybody wins, which is kind of an unusual space. You don't find that often. There's the competitive spirit is there, but it's cooperating and actually a competition amongst and with each other versus against. So we have when you report, you're also tracking your points, and the points are tracked by how many people are impacted, how many volunteers are involved, how much money is raised for a special cause for the community. And those are points that are adding up for those teams that are all over the world. And so as the games get going officially today, the annual games, we have a scoreboard that's tracking these points. So it's this really exciting energy that's really leaning into elevating compassion for 11 days of global unity. And that does go till the 21st.
So give us an example of a game that people can get in. So you're getting engaged in a game online on the computer on your site, or you do things in person with people and then report about that?
Yeah, both. Yes.
Both.
There's the secret, a lot of what's happening actually in the communities is tracked on the site. So that the social media is an important part of it. So that's where the sharing and the reflecting, reporting on the map is happening. But the actual actions for the most part are happening in the communities. So for example, today we have a good deed challenge that's going on today with the 9/11 day. And there are good deeds that are happening all over with our teams all over the world, and they're tracking and reporting back on our site at the end of the day. It's a good deed challenge, which is focusing and bringing gratitude to first responders, firefighters, honoring veterans. There's this specific kind of, that is the action, and that can be many different ways. So we really open that up of creative ways, and you will see, looking on our calendar on our site, of all the different teams having these different events, opening ceremonies today. It's not just here in Seattle, Washington, but there's opening ceremonies happening all over the world with our other communities. So, and John, I'm sure you have more to add.
Well, it's good, Kris, because everyone wants to understand concretely, like, what are we really talking about, right? So there's 4 steps. So once you commit to play, which is the first step, there is ways to play. So, for instance, people are taking on the driving challenge, to drive with compassion. People are doing service projects where you go out and maybe clean up a neighborhood, or go and rebuild. In fact, they're building a playground. You look at all the service projects, United Way here in our area, the Day of Caring is happening during the Compassion Games. So concrete service projects, as well as individual random acts of kindness. So there's a range of things, everything that you can do by yourself at any time, or you can do in teams, organizing these service projects that you can be a part of. That's the second step. You play. And then you report on this map. And, of course, no one can lose the Compassion Games. In fact, the more people that play, the more people win the games. But the idea of a measure is really just to set a benchmark. So for a community, the number of volunteers, the hours of service, number of people served, the money raised for local causes. This just gives a way to measure our compassion strength. But everybody is where they're at, and there's no need to look at the measurement part. It's really a fun thing. It's like a culture hack because, how can you lose these Compassion Games? But nevertheless, for some people, it's really very important. And they take seriously the fact that they want to perform better and better and develop the capacity to be more compassionate in the world. And they share that on the report map. So then the 4th step is, after your report, is to share these reports. And they're already coming in. Agents of Compassion, we want to get 10,000 people signed up during the games, are doing stuff all over the world and putting it on that map. And you can start to see it, and then we'll post it on that scoreboard so you can kind of appreciate the development of our capacity individually and collectively.
Well, that's great. So even if a person can't find a group, they can do something themselves, an act of kindness, or go volunteer somewhere, those kinds of things. So this is great. Well, we're going to get into more details about this after we come back from our break. This is Kris Steinnes with Voices of Women, and we'll come back soon.
Kris Steinnes is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
We Carry the Light with host Dr. Susan Allison is the show that inspires you to find the light within and shine your light in the world. You'll hear from guests who model how to be the highest, brightest, most evolved, fulfilled, and conscious humans possible. Tune in each Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com and let Dr. Susan help you discover that you carry the unique light that only you can shine.
On the cutting edge of the new mainstream, Christine Upchurch is passionate about bringing together science, psychology, and spirituality in a way that can be applied to our everyday lives for true transformation. The Christine Upchurch Show, stellar conversations to illuminate your journey, engages some of the most outstanding visionaries on the planet in lively dialogue to inspire you to become that bright light you're meant to be. Join Christine every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on KKNW, AM 1150, and Transformation Talk Radio.
Are you interested in schools that inspire, excite, and encourage our kids to step beyond what they thought was possible? The Access Possibility School is enrolling now. Students in grades K through 8 are welcome to our virtual classroom. Classes start September 8th. For more information about the Access approach, teachers, enrollment, and what makes us different, visit accesspossibilityschool.com. That's accesspossibilityschool.com.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
Voices of Women.
Okay, we're back on. This is Voices of Women with Kris Steinnes, and I'm with jon-ramer and Sommer Albertsen. So what we were just talking about, what I love about this, you're talking about like doing things and reporting back and getting points, and it's really not about the points, but like you say, it's just that fun co-opetition, not competition. But yes, the fact that you're reporting ideas gives other people ideas. Like I kind of go blank, like, well, what would I do? But if I go on your line, your website, I could probably see, oh, they're doing that. Oh, I could do something like that. But also, it's just good to hear good things happening in the world. We don't hear them. We don't hear all the stuff that's happening around the world.
Yes. And it's complementary to what we already do. So many people are busy. So many people are busy with their own organizations. But the beautiful part of Compassion Games is we want to complement and elevate what already is so wonderfully already happening in all these different organizations and in individuals' lives.
Yeah, and you can read about.
But I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Let me just. Yeah, as an example, also in families. I'm just looking at the report map as we talk here. And I looked at this one. It's so simple. Submitted, and I think this was from Israel this morning, but someone says coffee for household. Said, we have a multi-generational household. We thought it would be nice for everyone to get together and commune together this morning. So we brought home coffee for everyone. It made us all realize that taking the time together in this life is more important than all the running around and busy work that goes on. We really do enjoy each other's company. And just the proposal that someone made says, hey, tomorrow's a special day. Why don't we take some time together? That can make a difference. It's the simple things as well as the more meaningful, like ending homelessness for veterans. This is something that a number of cities and teams have taken on with the games. And this issue of homelessness for veterans is one that really can be fixed by communities now. And we're thrilled that Seattle and Louisville are back at it, as well as with other communities where their mayors and veteran agencies are saying, no, this is an issue we could fix. It's a moral disgrace that any veteran in this country would be on the street and not have a place who wants one. And we can fix that. And that's compassionate action.
Yeah. So how can people get involved in something like that? Because that's like, perhaps it's a group or it's a city, department in the city or something that's kind. I know there's organizations that are working to eliminate the homelessness for the veterans. How can people get involved?
Well, at tonight's opening ceremony here in Seattle, we'll have the executive director of the Seattle Stand Down. So there are initiatives and projects. The games are about strengthening things that are already working. So that is an example. And there are many service projects that are oriented around 9/11 Day and taking on issues to support veterans. You can find them on the site, and you can use the games as a framework to strengthen those things. So that's part of how this happened this year, is that there was a mayor's challenge issued by the Department of Housing. So you see the games are kind of a four-way partnership. There's a bottom-up, but there's also top-down. We do need our leaders, and mayors in particular, a number of which have taken up compassion. So you got the policy, you got the top-down as well as the bottom-up, the outside in, the idea of bringing in ideas from other places, but knowing in the end, Kris, and Sommer knows this, we all know this all starts from the inside out. Compassion has to begin with oneself. So there's initiatives and projects on a full range of things. And that's what the games are about, strengthening and amplifying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, getting people involved. I mean, I think a lot of us, we want to get involved. We don't know how to.
Yes. Well said.
I think the best first step is heading to our site and emailing us and asking, hey, where we are in this community and we want to get involved. What are the organizations? Like, we can really be a liaison for getting people to the right organizations that already exist in the community, and it starts those conversations is a good starting point, or just searching about what organizations exist.
Sign up to play and invite your friends, and look on either the event calendar to see things that are happening in your community and organizations you can reach out to, or again, look through the report and start to see who's working on what around you and how you can amplify and strengthen that. We can do this. In the end, everyone will know that everyone did it.
Yeah. Well, it makes me think like, it's weekend time now, and people are probably having parties, or they're having people over for dinner, to think about, maybe I should include in this event something aspect of the compassion games. Let's sit around and let's have a talking circle, and everybody share what they feel compassionate about, or the issues around in our world or in our city that we want to think we need to, fix, and what are the, come up with creative ideas. And instead of the usual, we just go to a party and we just socialize. So people could incorporate this into what they're doing.
Yes.
Correct?
And actually, it's interesting that you bring up around the table, at parties, is we have personal power-ups is another way to play the games. And we have an actual game called Yum. And it's about bringing and seeing how many different things that we can be grateful for that's in our food. And it's such an awesome, John and I, we've had many gatherings at the Heart Quarters, the Compassion Games Heart Quarters. And we love playing this with groups of people. And it brings people so much more present and more alive and more connected to what we're eating. Before we actually, everyone fills up their plates. And then it gives us this moment in time to actually gather together consciously, mindfully, with compassion for our food. Is how many things can we be grateful for in that first bite? And it's amazing every time what unfolds, and it's always different, but it always, for the most part, brings just so much more alive to that gathering of people. So that is a way that you can play and report that on the map.
Well, I'm just thinking like, okay, within the word compassion is passion. Like, what do you feel passionate about? For some people, it's, it's the food, foods, it's sustainability, or it's energy, or it's, our fuel consumption. What do we feel passionate about to contribute to?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. That's where it starts. A compass. Someone once said it's a compass for our passions. That's compassion. It guides us. And it's that balance, those three dimensions we talk about. You said 10 times here. It's for yourself as well as for others and for the earth. There's beautiful examples of what we need to do to take care of the places that we love. And we've used the games for that. We have a game called Love This Place. And we ask people to post a photo on the report map of the place they loved and tell us why you love it. Or honor the Compassion All-Stars in your neighborhood, people that, every day are doing amazing things. So many ways we can show our compassion.
And there are so many ways. We actually have a new team as well in relation to compassion for others. We're also bringing in the love and compassion for our animals. How many people do love their animals, and so that we have this in process. What is the name of it, John? It's Fur, Feathers, and
it's the Fur, Feathers, and Fins League,
and Scales too. And and that in itself is like another example. I mean, there's just so many ways that places we could take this. And we also have the U.S. TV talk show host challenge. It's another way to play. Is how many people want to engage. We're really wanting to get this mainstream, and we all know talk show hosts, Oprah, Jimmy Fallon. Now we've got Stephen Colbert's back, and they are incredible leaders and have such power in where they are. And so we want to engage their fans and the teams that who is the most compassionate TV talk show host, as another space and way to play. And that actually does involve social media, is actually engaging and tweeting out about the challenge to your favorite talk show host. So that there's another example, so many examples. John, was there something you wanted to add?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm so enthusiastic. I can't hold myself back. I love that you brought this up.
Talk about
this is a talk
passion.
show too. And we want everybody who's influencing others through the media, in this case TV talk shows we started, to be able to let their fans, engage in this co-opetition. Like Ellen, for instance, does amazing things. And people started tweeting to us examples why she's the most compassionate. But now Stephen Colbert, just that interview last night with Joe Biden, I know there's a lot of people talking about just the heartfelt compassion. So really, we want to take the games on a mainstream path, and we know that those are those icons of compassion, like Oprah, my God, these are examples of how people can use their influence and power to do more good in the world. I mean, we think it's, we're laughing about this and joking, but we do take this really seriously. We think that we need to learn how to play with each other and come together and make change. And let's do, like I like to say, the heavy lifting with a light heart. But these are fun and creative games. At the same time, we want to engage our leaders, and we want to engage everybody. Everybody has the energy to make change. Human energy is what's needed. And the games are just trying to tap into that power source. Each of us have that, whether we're homeless with nothing or you're sitting on top of the world. And why not find better ways to connect and turn our connections and influence into change that's positive and just and lasting.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's such good work that you're doing. And I want to talk about, when we come back, how, because it feels like you're the brainstormer of this, John. This came up for you after 9/11, and for others, sort of mind-boggling, like how you got this all organized to, grow to this international level. So we're going to take a break and come back and talk more with jon-ramer and Sommer Albertsen.
You got attitude? Keys to the rescue. Adjust your attitude with Keys Clear Protein Waters. So refreshing. Just a few sips of Keys will give you a whole new outlook, thanks to 22 grams of the happiest protein on earth. Tongue-tingling tasty without the guilt of naughty or nasty ingredients. If that doesn't put a smile on your face, maybe you need to drink too. Put a little woohoo in your attitude with Keys Protein Water. On Amazon or at Keys, Kees, please.com.
Kris Steinnes is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
The doctor is in. Tune in to the hit show, The Psychic Love Doctor, with host Deborah Lee. Deborah's life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. This inspiring show will help you never feel helpless in life or love ever again. Join Deborah Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific Time right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Called the Oprah of radio by her listeners. Award-winning host Dr. Pat Baccili is blowing the doors off of traditional talk radio. Get ready for an energizing delivery and powerful interviews with leaders in the field of human potential. Dr. Pat's fresh, new perspective on living life full out has catapulted her show to the top of talk radio. Tune in and Dr. Pat will help you thrive instead of merely survive. Visit thedrpatshow.com. That's THEDRPatShow.com for listening times in your area.
Welcome back to Voices of Women. I'm Kris Steinnes, and we're talking about compassion games with jon-ramer and Sommer Albertsen. So, John, I was just wanted to ask you, to put something together like this is huge. I'm a founder and a director of a conference too, and I just know what it takes. But on this level of what you're organizing, how did you start it, and what steps did you take to really make this happen?
Well, it's one of those miraculous kind of things that, thank God, others have embraced it with me. You put the idea forward, and the truth is that the idea, which is essential, is only a small part of it. It takes a lot of creativity and a lot of growth with oneself to really allow others to own it and allow it to become something that's bigger than anything you could have imagined. And that's what's happened for me. I've had the privilege to watch that unfold. And each new person who's come to the games has brought another level of creativity. We were, one of the keys to this thing is don't quit. That's what the Dalai Lama says. It's what so many people say with these things. And there were really dark times. I call it a pain and privilege. You believe in something, you can see what it could be, and it's not yet that. This is our 4th year. So we've really achieved the threshold level. But the, opportunity for me was to live this as a practice. I wanted my day to be about helping strengthen compassion in the world and starting with myself. So it's been a developmental process in a lot of ways. And the indigenous wisdom that has guided us is that says starting from within, working in a circle, in a sacred manner, we heal and develop ourselves, our relationships, and the world. So the guiding principles and have made this really a learning project. And my play is our learning, and our learning is our play. So sometimes things don't ever turn out, but every now and then something does. The Compassionate Cities thing is taken off 350 cities, and but that's those things needed. We needed something like this to get light the spark within those campaigns, to start to measure something, have some way to address the cynicism and the doubt and the disillusionment and social isolation and despair. Let's tell the truth. A lot of people feel disconnected. And what's fed us with the games is the sense that it's really making a difference with people. And once you feel that, it's like nothing can stop you then. You say, this is a calling. This is ours to do.
I just want to add, too, John is very, very humble. I work alongside him, and I have never seen another person that is so incredible at connecting to the right people and elevating and appreciating everyone around him. I mean, normally the way it looks in our office is we have a few people in-house. He is normally Skyping with people from all over the world, and, he's got other calls on his phone. He's emailing. I mean, the man doesn't stop. He is such an incredible person of going, and he really is the engine that continues to just bring Compassion Games alive. And I am constantly inspired and in awe of jon-ramer. And so I literally don't know anyone else like this man, and he really does know the planet. And so, I mean, he will never say that himself, but I will say that for him.
Well, that does take that energy and that passion, and that drive, and the persistence, and the don't give up. The little. I remember one of my favorite books when I was a kid is "A Little Engine That Could."
Yes, so classic.
There's a great quote that came our way. I don't know who actually said it, but something like, "There's no limits to what someone can accomplish or where they can get to if they're willing to let someone else take the credit." And I think that, for myself, I continue to look for ways to really accept the fact that this is ours and belongs to all of us, and make room for each other to innovate and create together. And so, it takes an individual to start something, but boy, the truth about the Compassion Games, Sandy Hart, Joey Crotty, Chief Phil Lane Jr., Leslie Meehan, Lisa Walker, the list goes on of individuals who selflessly are really dedicated to, realizing this is a chance to make history for ourselves, to do something that we can leave a legacy and makes us proud. And having Sommer on the team, my gosh. And now you, Kris, this is a beautiful example. Look, all your years, women of wisdom. We need the women of wisdom now. And if Compassion can in any way be a partner to ignite that energy and spirit, that's what we want to do. That's what we want to be a part of. So thank you for having us on the show. It's a great example of the kind of caring that we want to model. And, I challenge, who is the most compassionate wisdom women in the world? Is it the women of wisdom of Seattle, or are there other women of wisdom around the world who can join together in the same spirit?
I love that.
Flex their compassion muscles.
Yeah, well, actually, it just makes me think because we're having our retreat this weekend to put the conference together, our annual conference in February. We do our selection of our workshops and and so it's up at our family cabin at a beautiful lake, a little lake up in out of Seattle, and it's what you were talking about, doing a photograph of your favorite places. I'm just thinking, okay, I'll take a photograph of the lake. I'll take a photograph of us working to create this conference, post that on the your website. So you sparked a lot of ideas. Or my cats, I love my cats, and they're beautiful calico cats. I can, post that on. So those are ideas. But I would love to hear, because you said, you're starting to get reports from people, and hundreds of people are posting on your website. Give us some examples of around the world, because I love those stories.
Well, here's one that's so timely that just has to be shared. This is from Syria, okay? So I don't know if in Damascus, it's post about Rumi is what it's called. Today I shared one of my preferred poems from the poet Rumi. But he talks about two kinds of intelligence with my Tai Chi group, especially dedicated to my teacher, who just wrote today about not being able to write intelligent words. It reminds me that intelligence that matters is the intelligence that comes from within. And everything from, examples in Syria like that to here, I'll just randomly pick one in St. Louis. What's this here?
And John, just to be clear, so these reports, you said there were 100 that just happened today. Like, just so people know, like, this is
just today.
Literally happening, like, right now, because we are starting the 11 Days of Global Unity. So the reports are pouring into our map. But I just wanted to add that. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah. Gotcha. Here's one, Seattle, Louisville, from Van Girls. That's the name of the team in this case. Have you ever tried to enter the long black branches? It's a beautiful picture from Mary Oliver's, that quote. She says, encouragement for employees, helping mom in labor, and posting poetry for highly sensitive people. All before 10 a.m. is a good start to the day! Exclamation point. And, it's these examples that she put, 3 volunteers, what she was doing there, and the amount of time she put in. Here's from Louisville. My power source for compassion and the wonderful people are the wonderful people of our coordinating circle for compassion and our mayor. I'm also powered by Thomas Merton, the Trappist monk who had his epiphany in downtown Louisville, where he saw the people walking around shining like the sun. Finally, I am powered by Lady Compassion herself. She's a wonderful and unifying force in our polarized world. So,
I just want to say something. Go ahead. Oh, I'm just so inspired, and I just want to say too that hearing these stories, hearing these reports is it's a power source, which I haven't really realized since being a part of the team yet. But wow, I feel this charge in my heart, and feeling more connected to Syria. I feel more connected right now to Louisville, Kentucky. And it suddenly opens up to that truth that we really truly are all connected. But it's just to take a story, that person in Syria could have never shared that story, and we would not today, along with all the people that's listening, Kris, we would not today have that gift and experience of the report. So I don't know, it's just something that's coming up right now for me. Wow, that's amazing.
Here's one more. Here's another one from Christine in Chicago. Compassion Forward, she called it. Folding laundry for others in the dorm laundry room, allowing vehicles in while in Chicago traffic jam. Simple acts of kindness may just free up some time for something else. And allowing calmness on the road during a situation that I cannot control lets me reflect on the cooperation of being in a situation with massive amounts of travelers.
It's something we all deal with. I mean, they talk about Seattle now as the number 4 of the worst traffic, city. And, we're dealing with this, and we're in our cars and we get frustrated. It's it's changing our mindset. How can I make use of this time and be calm and send kindness waves to everybody's on the road, because everybody is in the same boat of feeling frustrated, being caught in traffic.
Exactly. It's one of the ways to play. We have actually Drive with Compassion is a pledge. And so that's a good idea about letting people in, and it's amazing how easy this is, and yet how powerful it can be.
Yeah, so it's just, it helps to simplify it. Like isn't like this huge thing that you got to get people together and play a game.
Yeah.
It's like a very simple thing. And I was just reading a little booklet from a friend of mine wrote from a grandmother in the Lakota tradition of just, starting the day, calling forth for good things to happen, or blessings for the day, or gratitude for the day, and just starting your day with that mindset is, also a simple act of kindness for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take another break. Well, we can't yet. We got to take a break. So we'll come. This is Kris Steinnes. We'll come back and talk more with jon-ramer and Sommer Albertsen about compassion games.
Are you feeling broken from your relationships? Are you second-guessing yourself about friends, family, and lovers? Tune in to the hit show that's creating a buzz in the love-seeking community. Love Seeker Radio, finding love for your authentic self with renowned love coach Heather Lynn. Tired of dissatisfying relationships? Kiss them goodbye and power up your love seeker energy. Coach Heather Lynn reminds you that you can just be you, the beautiful and perfect you. Visit heatherlynncoaching.com to learn more.
Kris Steinnes is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
Artie Hoffman is the hottest psychic with the warmest heart and the host of the hit show Angels and Answers. A renowned psychic, medium, spiritual life coach, and an entertaining motivational speaker, Artie has helped over 15,000 people with his amazing intuitive gifts, his passion, and his humor. Call 877-ANGEL-02 to schedule a personal reading or to have your own psychic Artie party. That's 877-ANGEL-02. And visit artiehoffman.com and Angels and Answers on Facebook.
My dream is to end homelessness.
My passion is living a green life.
My dream is to end poverty.
My passion is volunteering.
My passion is making a difference.
My dream is to cure Lyme disease.
My passion is rebuilding communities.
My passion is helping those in need.
My passion is caring for the elderly.
My dream is to find a cure for cancer.
My dream is to leave a better world for my children.
We all have that special passion, that lifelong dream that drives us to live our lives with meaning and to create a better world. No matter what drives you, we can all make an impact. Dr. Pat Basile is helping others make their dreams come true, so we can all help make our world a better world.
To learn more about how Dr. Pat is building a community of sharing hope, strength, funds, knowledge, and information, visit abetterworldcrowdfunding.com today. That's abetterworldcrowdfunding.com.
Holistic Medical Center is where you find it all. A healthy space with doctors who care, see, and listen to the whole you. Hi, this is Dr. Darvish. If you have not found an answer to your chronic symptoms, you will find answers here at Holistic Medical Center. Our doctors find the root cause of your symptoms and guide your body towards healing naturally. We transform lives from within. Visit drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
welcome back to Voices of Women. I'm Kris Steinnes, and we've been talking about compassion games with jon-ramer and Sommer Albertsen. So first I want to, again, mention the website where people can go, www.compassiongames.org. So John, give us, how do people sign up?
It's really simple. So there is a sign up on our Facebook page, but if you go to the website, there's a button that just says sign up to play. And if they do that, they'll receive the missions. So each day for the next 11 days, missions are going out. And there's also a section on play that has lots of ways to play, and then links to the report map. The stories, I mean, the site is full of different content to guide people. And it's still not too late to form a team. If someone wants to organize a team for a service project, either over this weekend or during the week or next weekend, that's cool too. I mean, next Monday is the last day of the games. It's the International Day of Peace. Sommer's playing a silent disco here for Seattle for our closing ceremonies and other things. The communities all over that are organizing teams also will probably be doing closing ceremonies on that Monday, the 21st, the International Day of Peace. But the weekend before, there's lots of good global synchronized subtle activism around peace and things that everyone can do. So don't stop now. In fact, anyone who's hearing this, it's time. Let's go. Get on with it. Game on.
So that weekend, those events, those activist events for peace, they'd be listed on your website?
They are. Go to the event
great.
section, and you can filter by different teams or filters by different locations or different. There's leagues. The way the groups have formed, the teams have grouped naturally into organized leagues. So around faith and interfaith, around places, around businesses, youth. There's lots
women,
of
youth.
Yep, women, of course. Voices of
Indigenous.
Women. In fact, here's a voice that I bet a woman from a team called Meaningful Misfits. Okay? And she posted on the report map to the last one I'll share. Scrolling through Facebook today, I came across an old friend. I miss her. We haven't been speaking due to a disagreement we had many months back. We both said some pretty mean things. I reached out to her to express to her how much I missed her. She felt the same. Through this experience, I learned that unspoken words can be more painful than words that are spoken. I feel relieved and grateful to have my friend back in my life.
Wow.
Goodness.
That's great. Yeah.
It's up there.
So, and I'm sure we all have, people who've dropped out of our lives or for whatever reason, even if it's not painful disagreement, that we want to reach out. There's a lot of people, in my early 20s, like, where are they? And every once I do a Facebook search, but yeah, we lose touch. And this is a great way to touch back in with people you don't even know, like make new friends possibly. So what is your desired future for Compassion Games International?
Well, I'm prepared to be surprised. It belongs to all of us, like playing in prisons and things like that have happened. So I'll continue to steward and be a servant of what wants to emerge here, There's no limits. There's a whole, you just mentioned Facebook again. Come on, we've got billions of people on this planet now connected. So it's my hope and dreams that there's like an Olympic movement, that the Compassion Games movement continues to grow, and people take this idea of doing these co-opetitions and bringing them into their communities. The annual games will kind of be a celebration, but like Olympians, you got to do this every day. You train every day. So there's no limits to what the games can become and what people can do with it. And know that our focus is to continue to build that platform to support that. So it's not a centralized model. It's everyone's, at the heart of this thing, wherever you are. And I challenge everybody to be creative and discover the power source of compassion as a way to do the innovation and do the good work to strengthen the solutions we have. There's no shortage of creativity and solutions. It's oftentimes getting the will as well as the way. So I hope the games continue to stun us all in its ability to unite people, to bring them together to make the changes that need to be made.
Yeah,
and I just wanted to add too to that vision that I would love to see, and I've actually thought about this as a way to connect to the vision and the vision beyond what the team wishes. But imagine every single person on this planet smiling, like genuinely, authentically smiling. Like that, and imagine what that would do for the planet itself, for the planet that we all live on, is part of that vision in action.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something I want to lean into and act towards?
Yeah, I every once in a while I meet somebody who's just, they talk about, we pass people, we pass the homeless on the street, we don't look at them, we don't smile at them, and then just walking down the street, just to smile at people that you come across. We're so kind of scared to do that, and yet it opens up, it makes you feel good, and it makes the other person feel good.
Yeah, and that's so simple, and yet such a huge impact. I think that's what, is so great too about what we're talking about, is it's like, oh yeah, it's simple. It's just making eye contact with people that we, the preciousness of each person. Each person has a story and is special, and you never know what can happen when we just open our eyes and open our hearts more around us every day versus getting stuck in our minds.
Yep.
It limits our potential.
Mm-hmm. So how can people help promote this?
Well, there's a couple things they can do. So I just want to honor the feminine dimension of compassion, coupled with the male strength, that there is that beautiful expression that's coming through with compassion. And thank you, Kris, for having us on the show. But we love people to participate, not only playing the games, but also they can help support the games. We've got an Indiegogo campaign with lots of these cool perks. The way you do these campaigns, you put out everything from $5 to $1,000. So if you go to our website now under the donate button, if you just want to make a donation to PayPal, that's great. If you do want to check out the perks and see what's there, they're fun and creative ways, and that'll help fund the games. I mean, it's a totally kind of volunteer initiative here that we're trying to make sustainable. So if anyone feels called to not only play in the games and invite their friends to play, but they can help fund this mission. We set a mission for ourselves of 10,000 new agents during the games, 150 new teams, which we just about got, but we want to serve 1 million people during these games. And therefore, the truth is we need people's help, their time and energy and resources. So if they're so called, go to the site, check out the donate, look at our Indiegogo campaign. It really is a distilled story about the games. It's a video. It talks about the history and like that. So thanks, Kris, for getting the word out.
Okay.
And I hope we can really use this time to discover new limits, new possibilities to go beyond the limits that have held us back before, to really make the world a little bit more compassionate, more just.
Yeah.
And that, you can find that on the homepage, Champions of Compassion. Is a simple way you can click there, and the Indiegogo campaign is part of that way of signing up.
All right.
Champions of Compassion.
Yeah. So everybody go to compassiongames.org. So thank you so much for being on the show and for the work that you were doing, John and Sommer.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
So it's an honor to be here.
Game on.
And Kris, too, by the way, I just need to say, she is also going to be a part of our closing ceremony on the 21st. It's really setting a blessing as we focus on the International Day of Peace and our closing ceremony before our silent disco squad. So very
I'm honored to be a part of that
community with you.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you for that. And I just want to put out actually, we don't have a call for presenters more, but for our conference, because we are going into our selection phase. But we have a call for vendors and artists and healers, readers for our fall festival, which is October 24th. And you can go to our new website, which is www.thewowconference.org. And click on Fall Festival for all the information to have a booth at our very fun Fall Festival, October 24th. And also, there is now a call for the vendors for our marketplace at our conference, February 11th through the 15th. The marketplace is the 13th through the 15th is the marketplace. That's also at the wowconference.org website. You can get the information, and all the application forms online are there. So check those out. go to www.thewowconference.org. And also, please check out my book. It's an Amazon bestseller, award-winning book, Women of Wisdom, Empowering the Dreams and Spirit of Women. An inspiring book on the divine feminine from many different viewpoints. And you can find that also on our website, the main website of womenofwisdom.org. And last call, if you want to participate in our Circle Leadership Training, it's October 1st through the 4th, learning models of co-creative leadership. And it's very useful anywhere in your life, at home, work, and relationships. So thanks so much. Everybody have a great weekend, and see you next week.
You've been listening to Voices of Women with Kris Steinnes. Tune in each Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time for Voices of Women Today, radio with Kris Steinnes.